Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Well, what do you know? Look what arrived today. So, for all the Tamiya fans that have been sitting in the background wondering when I'm going to get through all this associated Losi Schumacher crap and actually build a real race car, it's here. So, this arrived today. Got some shocks that I will, big bore shocks, 13 mils. I got to get some springs. Not a big deal. I'll pick those up this week. We'll get this thing built. Fan RC says Go Fast is carrying the Astute arms. So as soon as Go Fast has those in, I will get those ordered. But I'm going to get everything else assembled, ready to go. And I'll just switch out the arms in the end. I think I have some titanium turnbuckles that will work. And maybe some other goodies. The biggest thing is I want to kind of get it together. And I need to figure out the wheels to get slicks on there because the front wheels are narrow and they won't take a J Concepts slick. Same kind of thing we had with our Losi with the 5 spokes. You know, they're only like 20 millimeters wide and we need at least 24 millimeter wide. So I got to figure out something there. Either switching out the axle to like an RC10 axle or a Losi axle so I can run those rims. Or some type of hex conversion. I don't know. If Tamiya guys, help me out. If you're looking at this channel, let me know what works so that I can get wheels. The rears are fine. It's really the fronts. And then like my OCD is going to get me so I can't be running different rears and different fronts. So let me know. I think maybe JC Racing maybe make some rims. I'll have to look. But shortcut my efforts and let me know what's going on. So obviously put out a ton of content and I can understand how people are getting lost. So I wanted to make a video, just a weekend wrap up and also kind of a project wrap up of everything that's going on our channel and what we're going to be doing here in the upcoming week. So obviously, as you see before you, the Astute arrived. These were on sale for like $140 on A-Main when they had the Memorial Day sale. So I'm pretty excited. I think that's a pretty good score. And we'll get this thing set up. As far as the other builds, the Kinwald build you saw on the channel, that thing is done. Gonna get some electronics in it. And get that thing going. Got to paint a body. Not a big deal. I am going to find the Yokomo wing mounts to figure out, like either the ones that go on the shocks or whatever, to try to get that done and get that together and running. Losi's all done, refreshed, ready to go. I do have to fix the wing. As far as, like I said, when I originally did like wing settings and stuff, there's a whole bunch of cuts and all that. And it's my OCD's getting to me. So new Avid wing is going on there and that thing is done. For the time being, got an upper deck mount. I got to put that upper deck on one of my Yokomos. I forget which one. B3 is done. Like I said, that's good to go. All refreshed on that end. Yokomo 91 works. Poor girl. Tires are mounted in our whole tire assortment over there. This thing is ready to go. Electronics are in there. I don't know what I'm doing. But I got to get that out sooner than later. The other projects. Project B3, found some parts I needed on eBay that are legit new old stock. So I found the screws for the bottom that were missing. I'm going to replace all those. Found a gear cover. Found a top deck because this top deck's is cracked. But I found a legit B2 associated top deck. And I will begin kind of refreshing and rebuilding that as far as the shocks, getting it all cleaned up. And the tires come today, so I'm going to clean up the rims, get the tires back on there. That's good to go. Oh, no. Oh, shocks. Shocks for a Tamiya. Oh, and the poor graphite. Like, this is the main squeeze, right? This is your wife. All these other things are just girls you cheated on. That car is awesome. Love fan graphite. I still probably give this an edge versus the Kinwald. Put the single Unilink kind of ball crank mount. Did order Go Fast today and got some black ball cups coming. So we're going to refresh that, tighten her up a little bit again, give her a little Little love on that end. These two piles of shit probably going on eBay. B7, brand new, never ran. We'll never probably run it. Not really interested in running my B74.1, even though we did a whole bunch of R1 modifications and stuff to that. Kashima shocks. I don't know. Cougar's looking good as always. Look at that flavor. The only thing I am going to do to that is, last time out we stripped a wheel. I did replace the castle nut, got that all taken care of. That thing is back together and refreshed and good to go. Had one shock that was leaking, so it did rebuild that shock. And that seems to be good now. And then on to our other projects. So RC10 is ordered, Clifflet version. So I have wheels and tires over there. I have a box full of parts, and some of those parts I don't need because we don't need the MIP CVDs and some other stuff. So we'll see. The Nick's pile of parts for the Losi Double XT. So if you heard on the channel, I did win an eBay auction that comes in either Thursday or Friday with a bunch of spare parts. I have more parts showing up. I have a bulky body that shows up Monday because they're out of Utah. So pretty quick shipping to Denver. And we'll get that built up and start working on it. I am going to work on the front end this week because I have everything to complete the front end. So I'm going to complete the front end. I'm going to rebuild the shocks, get those ready. Dragon Punch hasn't sent out our order yet for all the Losi stuff that we ordered, but hopefully that's coming shortly. And we'll start getting electronics ordered. And then when our parts come in on Friday, we should be able to almost get... I hate to promise, but I think we'll have that thing running by next weekend. We won't be racing it next weekend, but I think we can get everything together, body painted, tires mounted, electronics in that thing. And that thing will be ready to go, hopefully. Transmissions, I'm waiting on some bearings. Bearings were supposed to come, or I would have shot a video on that, but no parts have came this weekend like they were supposed to. Transmissions all redone, diffs rebuilt. Just need the bearings for the idler because those were shot and that thing should be rolling smooth. And then I'm going to get the slipper unit and stuff all put on there, and that thing will be good to go. So it will be resurrected soon. You'll see another video on that probably Monday or Tuesday. But the Astute will be working on that thing, getting this together. And like I said, man, I told you I was sick of two-wheel drive buggies, and all I'm doing is two-wheel drive buggies. So we'll get the Astute assembled, put some cool parts on that, try to make that thing race-worthy, and really see if this thing is out of its league against everything else. And what was I watching the other day? I think I was watching it was the 89 Worlds in Australia. And there was a Super Astute racing around there. It looked exactly like box art. And I think it was number 3 or something. I was watching an Old Worlds video. Eustace Moore was narrating, and there was some other stuff in there. But they were showing some highlights, and I think there was like a photo montage. And clear as day, there was a Tamiya Astute in there running around. So can it compete with the RC10 and the... the Losi's obviously too new. If you had a JRX Pro SE or a JRX2, and we had, I guess an 89 stealth car would be kind of like a long arm. Our Dragon Punch long arm would be pretty close to that and how that was set up. But I mean, if you took a RC10, maybe we got to get a JRX2. I don't know. But for all the Tamiya guys out there, we are going to put some work into this thing. I don't think we're doing like full carbon chassis and shock towers and stuff. I don't think that's going to make a huge performance difference, but we are going to do bearings because it's partial bearings, and I think it's partial bushings like in the steering and stuff. We're going to do the arms to get some better arms on there. And the biggest thing is the shock package and the wheel package, making sure we get that right. That will give this thing a chance of actually being competitive, and we'll see what we can do there. And it's been a while since Moore has seen a Tamiya, I am pretty sure, but we're bringing it back. So Again, guys, let me know what you want to see down below. We're getting a full garage here, so we may eventually have to let some of these things go, which I think we might get rid of the Schumacher and the Losi. Because like it or not, I don't have a money tree in my backyard, and this is getting expensive. So to keep all these things together, moving and bringing content, we may have to move on from a couple of these things. So we will probably do that because, like I said, I think people are more interested in watching the worlds go around the track than necessarily Cougar. And like I said, we have videos on the Cougar and the Losi. We've ran those a couple times. We've obviously ran the B3 as well. I'm keeping the B3 for the Kinwald Classic because Sam Ford might run that, or maybe he'll want to run the BK edition RC10. We'll see. I mean, it seems fitting, right? If you go into the BK Classic, run a Kinwald replica. And then also, like I said, for the associated race in October, although it would be cool to take a Losi down there and maybe maybe take a Losi XX buggy in our Losi XXT truck and show up to the associated vintage race with those ground pounders and see what we can do. And like I said, I have nothing against the Losi. The only thing I am worried about is just parts availability. Dragon Punch and a few other companies are making parts. Obviously, JC Racing making the arms, stuff like that. But everything else is hard to find. And, if you go to that race, are you going to have anybody that potentially has a spare part you need if you break something you don't have? That could be tough. So that'd be the only reason, like I said, to really hold on to the Losis other than getting rid of them. And then, for the associated race, it may be taking like our long arm in our RC10T Cliff Led edition, because I know people have parts around, and I have plenty of parts for those cars because I've had RC10s for a while. Or we take I don't know, we may take our graphite fan to rub it in Associated's nose a little bit, because I love that car. I think that car's great. Plus, I think it would fit in the earlier category as well, so it'd be a little bit more competitive. And then maybe our Yokomo 870C, because I think that fits up to 89 and then 90 above. Like our Yokomo 91 works, I think it goes from 90 to 93. So you could technically run like a Yokomo 93 works or something like that, and that might outclass our Yokomo 91. So we'll see. We got some time to deliberate and figure that out, but definitely got to go through my garage here a little bit and to keep the channel moving, figure out what we're going to keep and what we're probably going to just let go out there on the interwebs. So yeah, we'll see. But I did want to do a weekend roundup. Got a lot of projects that we're working on. There'll be a lot of updates on almost every car, I think, this week as we work through stuff, get parts in, get things built, get electronics in, all that sort of thing. So be patient. We got a lot going on. We'll get a lot out there. All these cars are going to have race videos. So like I said, the Astute, I want to race, and I almost want to race that before the Kinwald, because for some reason I'm excited. I don't think the Kinwald will be that different than all the other RC10s we ran. And we ran a few of them, obviously, on this channel. So I'm interested in the Astute, and I think it'd be cool to go to more, take the Astute, and take Nick's double XT once we get that done and run those things at night when they have stadium truck. And then we'll run the Astute in 21.5 and see what we can do. I know they're changing the track, so it's kind of a hard reset on lap times and stuff. It's not really going to be comparable, other than where did you kind of finish in 21.5, because it's kind of the same group of people racing 21.5. So it's just kind of where do you fit in there, right? If we were finishing, second and third in 21.5, are we still going to be able to do that with the Astute, or are we going to be finishing near the end of the pack or what have you? We'll see. But like, comment, subscribe down below. Let me know what you're excited to see coming up. Whether it's the double XT, the Super Astute, our B2 restoration, showing some love to the Fan RC, getting the Kinwald finished, body painted, electronics installed, putting a new wing on the Losi because that's all that's needed. But I know the Losi guys want to see some love, but you get a double XT getting built. Actually, probably 2 of them on this channel. B3 is done. That's just going to sit on the shelf over there, and I don't know what I'm going to do with that. And then obviously I think I feel sorry for the Yokomo guys because there hasn't been much Yokomo content after running several of those. So we may bust out the 870C again just to get familiar with the feel of that bad girl. And then Yokomo 91 Works might have to head out too because, man, that thing's delicious. Big bores, all that good stuff. That thing's ready to go. So hope everyone enjoyed their weekend. Got a ton of stuff coming up. Subscribe, like, comment, and we'll see you guys on the next one.